welcome to the fourth episode of You Think You Know podcast. Today, it's a pleasure for me to introduce a very dear friend of mine. I'm not gonna say best friend because then there's one other guy that's gonna become jealous. And I think in this journey you're probably gonna meet him as well. I've got a very small circle, and Eugene Krotz has been a very inspirational person. He plays a very big part in my small circle. So it's an honor for me to have him as my co-host. I'm gonna give him an opportunity to introduce himself. Yeah, just a warning. He is a shy guy, and I sort of forced him into to joining me in this venture. But I think it's gonna do good for him as a person. So yeah, Eugene, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm Eugene Krotz, all the way from Paul. Hilton is one of my close friends. We've walked a long road. Tough road, but we know each other's ins and outs. So, yeah, and I've seen everything that he does, the mistakes, the good, the bad, sometimes the ugly. But yeah, we will always be there for each other, and yeah.
Yeah. So Eugene is a professional DJ. He's at one of the renowned nighttime entertainment spots in Paul. He's one of their residents. Um, but besides doing what he does, he's always been there. He's been one of the constants in my life and in our friendship group. We are we're a small trio that does a lot together and for each other. We don't get to spend enough time with each other recently because life has a way of becoming occupied. But I must say, uh, the start of me being a breeder in general and me moving over and starting to represent the brand Masalan Bullies, and that's what I want to emphasize on today. Eugene has been that guy. He's he was, yeah, I put him in situations like today, um, more often than I should, I guess. But it's 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 something that I'm trying to be for us to be known as that team. Like we have something that we had a meeting about today, that we are building for our futures. And yeah, it's exciting. But the story of how he was part of the beginning is quite interesting. So before I became Masalan Bullies, I was uh, represented as Gemini Bullies. Yes, Gemini Bullies and not Gemini Pets. Gemini Bullies was the start of this dream. I was all enthusiastic and excited about breeding the American Bully, and I got myself a first XL American Bully that has no real pedigree behind her. But she was never the she was never acquired with the intention to breed. Actually, I my brother-in-law just all of a sudden one evening comes to the house with this gray, more popularly known as blue bully puppy thing. And I immediately became obsessed with this dog, and I asked him, whose dog is this? And he says, no, a breeder across the field between our neighborhoods has puppies, and he's selling them, and experiencing that purchase was part reason why Gemini Pets exists. So Gemini Pets, the idea, the concept, and the dream that I spoke about in the previous few episodes, um, the existence of Gemini Pets is not to experience the ugly of breeders, for the future clients of now Masalan bullies. I wanted to give you a premium experience because of how I experienced purchasing my first dog. Um, yeah, so where does Eugene come in? So we were having a barbecue, a braai, as we traditionally say in South Africa, and Eugene and Calvin, the other part of the trio, was at my house, and they met this dog for the first time, and she was about 6-7 months old, and I told him, now I'm gonna breed with this dog, and it was all just a, okay, you're gonna breed with a dog, you don't know what you're doing, but it quickly became much more than just breeding that particular dog. Um, and at the time, I was still working as a car salesman, stable job, happy wife, happy family, happy friends, because we all working men at that stage, working for a boss, and quickly after just wanting to breed with this dog once, before I even did her first breeding, I acquired my second dog. My second dog was Astro. Astro, more commonly known between us as Kopper, meaning head. But yeah, the story is just to give you a little bit of insight of how everything evolved. And after acquiring Astro, I now had a male with this female, but they don't really fit with each other because the female's an XL and the male's a standard. And I then realized that I'm more inclined to wanting to breed a pocket style dog, and particularly extreme pocket. So yeah, Astro was probably 9 months old and the third dog came along. Yeah, and then eyebrows started being raised, and Eugene's like, I don't know, yeah, they probably thought a lot and didn't tell me, but they did express a few concerns because I brought all these dogs to my in-laws' place because me and my wife was living with our parents, and um, I live by a very controversial statement. My mom doesn't really like it, but I live by the saying that says asking for forgiveness or saying sorry is easier than asking for permission. So, unfortunately for my in-laws, I never really asked for permission, but they did express um, the I don't know what to call it, but they didn't really approve of the fact that I had three dogs, and I had an old dog that is still there. Now I had four dogs in a space that you should actually only have two. Um, and they didn't understand that these dogs are not vicious and they are not um, pit bulls, because as a puppy they have a lot of similarities. But I want Eugene to tell me and tell you guys how he felt after Aurora came along. And after Aurora came along, Aurora was probably being prepared to have her first litter. and without any prospects or possibility of making this a living, I left my job, and I think this was probably something that my friends was worried about when I
Definitely, definitely.
yeah. So yeah, tell us. I've never even asked how they felt and what they thought when I decided to jump ship, and now I'm a full time breeder with only having one litter under my belt. So yeah, if you can tell me what you what you thought.
First thought when you told us, nah, you, when you said you were leaving your job, your permanent job, to do dogs, me and Calvin both were like, what? He's lost his mind. Finally, he's lost his mind. Something is wrong. Something is not right. And we know you're very, how can I say, obsessive.
Impulsive.
Impulsive, no, obsessive.
Mm.
Like if you don't know something about something, you'll go do research all the time. You want to know everything about everything of that specific topic. So we were thinking, yo, this man's serious. Can't be. Can't be. Next week, Stalwart Dogs. Stalwart Dogs. And afterwards, we just like, it felt like a normal thing. We all, now I'm in love with dogs also, which I never was. But nah, and I learned so much about the type, the breeding of the dogs and all that, and what type of dogs they are, and how they are so different from all the other type of dogs that I know of. So thank you for that. That's knowledge for me, but still couldn't believe you did that. But look at how it turned out.
Yeah, that's why that's why I said it previously. It's like if you have an idea and you equip yourself with enough knowledge to justify that idea to yourself, then there should be nothing and nobody that can stand in the way of you making that particular idea successful. Um, so yeah, that's that's just how I'm wired. I do things sometimes with not thinking about it enough, but I
Never.
know.
Never.
But I sort of always have an idea of
Yeah.
what I wish the outcome would be.
That's the best.
I don't know the way to get there
You
yet.
have what do you call it? A mind mapping in your head.
Yeah,
Already planned out.
yeah, and one thing that freaks Calvin out is the fact
now
that
you do it.
I don't write anything down.
Exactly, that's what I think.
Everything is just I I have an idea, and my thing is if you can think about it, you can make it happen. Maybe that's not always reality for everything or everybody, but that's how I've lived. Um, and yeah, so left my job, had two litters, and had two litters at the same time. Uh, 1 litter of 10 and 1 litter of 12. And funny enough, the smaller female, Aurora, she was she gave me 12 puppies. And with they were about what 6 days apart. So now I'm a rookie breeder. I've previously whelped 1 litter, and whelping the American Bully and French Bulldogs and I believe English Bulldogs compared to any other breed is a complete new world. There's nothing you can compare or implement from previous breeds and experiences. And the reason I'm saying previous experiences and breeds is my mother's brother, my uncle, and my grandfather. They actually introduced me to dogs and animals and breeding. My uncle used to breed on a serious level, but still while maintaining his day job, as a teacher and retired as a principal. He was breeding Boerboels. Boerboels, obviously now known across the globe, is a true South African breed. It's something that South Africa is very proud of producing. But those dogs was produced to guard and work on farms. So with that nature, whelping litters of a Boerboel was a breeze. The mom used to do 99% of everything. And yes, you do get American bullies that still has very good motherly instincts. But I'm sitting with 22 puppies. Number one, I don't have a day job. So feeding these dogs and caring for these dogs, vet bills, food, medications, nutrition, milk supplementation, because the smaller female didn't have enough milk, and I experienced so much of what I know today from those two litters. Those two litters also at 5 and 6 weeks, they contracted a parasite known to breeders as coccidia or coccidiosis. It's a very aggressive and potentially deadly parasite. All 22 puppies had coccidia. So the problem with coccidia is they start spray painting unwanted colors around wherever they are. So imagine having 22 puppies that's involuntarily just yeah just doing their business all over the place. Yes, if I think back, I don't know how I survived it. Like, I went on maybe an hour, 2 hour sleep because I needed to treat them medically. I needed to clean constantly because coccidia, once they contracted, they can reinfect each other all the time, and they just it just doesn't stop. And usually some breeders struggle with it for 2 weeks, 10 days. I'm proud to say that I got rid of the parasite within 4 days, but unfortunately lost two puppies, two very nice puppies. But it was just it was an experience that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But before we get to the puppies, Aurora she's a pocket female, and once I started to get to know her and I saw her development, I realized that I want to breed pockets. I don't want to breed XLs or standards anymore. I want to breed pockets. But I didn't have any real knowledge about the breed because this is the first time owning them. It's the first time attempting to breed them, and I jumped all in, left my job, and I'm gonna be a breeder full time now. Um,
That's when we knew you were
yeah,
crazy. It's all either you all in or you're crazy.
yeah, no, yeah. Probably some nights I also realized I'm crazy, or thought I was crazy. My wife wasn't happy. I don't think anybody was happy with the decisions. If you guys hear a little bit of snoring, just mind it's a little Frenchy. They do that even when they're awake. Um, but yeah, so I called Eugene one afternoon at about 4. So I was in a situation where I had a Aurora's first breeding. I had planned with a specific stud, and the stud was a hyped up stud at the time, but he was also producing a very good dog, and he was imported, and there was some level of exclusivity around his genetics, um, because he was basically the only dog from that specific line that was in the country. Um, He was a stunning dog. He was a micro, more to the exotic style dog. But I sort of wanted to bring that to Aurora because she was a short pocket, wide little girl. Didn't have the best rear assembly, but I believe that she would have done very well with this particular stud. And the day I she was ready to breed the next day. So our blood results was um, at around 40 odd. So she was ready to be bred the next day. The breeder, the owner of the stud that I had lined up, tells me that he doesn't want to go ahead with the breeding anymore because he wants upfront payment. So the agreement was, and this was months, we agreed. I called him weekly to just make sure that we're still on the same page. Um, the agreement was that I would pay him the agreed stud fee once I sell the first or second puppy. Um, so the day before Aurora was supposed to be bred, he tells me the deal's off. He can't he can't go ahead anymore. Um, yeah, so I was in a situation now where it's either I'm going to just do a breeding because I've got a male and I've got a female, but yeah, like you guys realize now, I don't just do something to be average. I don't just do something to follow what has been done in the past. Um, and this is the first time I've ever spoken to Adrian Perry. So Adrian Perry, the founder and currently owner of Masala and Bully's headquarters, um, was a he was the everybody put him on a pedestal because he's single-handedly brought in to South Africa, imported the most American bullies out of everybody. Everybody that breeds these dogs knows that he's probably brought in a total of 12 dogs, if I'm not mistaken, and um, he brought in dogs from the one dog from Big Dogs Romania Kennels, obviously in Romania, and the rest of the dogs he brought in from established partners of muscle tone bullies. And it was, and still is, some of the best, if not best, producing dogs, healthy dogs, extreme pockets that there is. Most consistent bloodline. I'm going to get a lot of naysayers with that statement, but yeah, this was something that was a dream. And yeah, this episode I brought Eugene, but I'm talking a little bit too much, but
Like always.
yeah, but I think the next episode we can tell them about
Adventure.
our adventure. Our adventure, and the first time he witnessed an artificial insemination happen in front of him.
Mm.
I didn't warn him about it.
I knew nothing.
I'm laughing because I can still see his face when we started the process. But yeah, guys, I want this to be. I want this to be something that is fun and we can laugh about the unknowns that we went through. So yeah, come along and hopefully this journey will crack this guy's shell and make him a little bit more of an extrovert. So yeah, thank you for agreeing to be my co-host. It took some persuasion.
Mm.
But I think it's something that's going to build our bond. It's going to build our relationship even stronger. And once it starts becoming a more flowing conversation, I think we can engage with with our audience. And again, please follow the journey. If there's any particular questions along the line, engage with us in the comments. DM us on any platform. Um, and yeah, see you in the next one.